Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So, it was requested that I look at the 477V again. Someone just wanted me to go more in depth with it. So, the last time I looked at the 477V, it was pretty true to the out of box experience. Now it's not. I've gone through and set this up mostly like how I would set up a device for myself. Now, this device is my sponsor's, so it does go back to him after this. And he was, yeah, pretty much okay with me going through and setting this up. Let me kill the ambient light here. Okay. He was more or less okay with me just setting it up how I want. He generally likes how I set things up. So, the first thing I do on these devices, when you get them, you'll have all the emulators right here. They'll be the oldest, worst emulators, especially for things like Nintendo and Super Nintendo. They're terrible. So the first thing I do is go through and uninstall everything I can. I mean, I remove almost everything I can, except for the basic things like you see here, clock, calculator, music, whatever. I keep all that because it doesn't do any harm. But I do remove it all, even whatever version they have of DuckStation, whatever version they have of RetroArch. I remove all of it. And then I grab Obtainium, throw in the emulation pack, download everything through that, grab the IG Show from the Play Store, run each emulator individually. That way they're all set up, and go from there. Actually, I don't think I set up Melon DS. I meant to do that this morning. Nope, I have not. So we're going to set the ROM directory really quick for Melon. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button here. Where are you at? There you are. Yay. Alright. So that should be good. Let's hop into that G Show. Actually, I don't know if I added DS to this. I did not. So let's hit. Oh, no, cancel. No, I don't want to set a snapshot. There we go. Download platform. We're going to go ahead and add. Well, maybe I do. I just didn't see it. Am I not paying attention? I'm not paying attention. It's right there. So let's add the file path in here. Go ahead and let that sink. All right. So now I've added everything. Actually, I don't think I've finished 3DS either. I'm not. Of course, I'm messing it all up. Nope, I never added that. I also haven't set up Azahar yet. Mainly because I remember I was getting ready to leave. And I had maybe 5 minutes and I threw a couple 3DS and DS on here. And yeah, then my workday ended and I had stuff to do. So I took off. Well, let's see. No, I don't want notifications. Next. I don't care. Select folder. You know, I don't think I've set up Azahar like one other time. I just don't emulate 3DS very often. Probably not even setting it up right. Probably needed to set up that applications folder. Ultimately, I don't care. I don't want to hide 3DS from Android. Whatever. We'll mess with Azahar later. I could care less. I guess I couldn't care less. But so, yeah, having these synced in here is not going to run since I didn't actually set up Azahar. I needed to do the applications, I believe. Unless it's going to run. Look at it proving me wrong. It's probably running off of Citra or something. This is why I do videos like this and I don't really edit things out. It's because I am perfectly fine with messing things up and not getting it right the first time. Well, how's it look? Landscape original, so we can customize it. Let's go back to that. Oh, well, I guess I could. Overlay. Show control overlay. There we go. No control overlay. I don't have the buttons set up, so it's going to be stupid. But there's some 3DS for you. Let's get some volume. Oh, nope, that's already up high. Alright. Well, I don't really care about 3DS. Single screen handhelds. I mean, this has plenty of power to run 3DS. But it's not going to be that great. I mean, the handheld will do amazing with it. And just like DS, the handheld will run it just fine. Watch this be the one that doesn't want to work. Here we go. Yep. The handheld will run it just fine. That's not the problem. The problem is squishing two screens together. Now, you can always full screen one and then toggle back and forth, you know, on what screen you're staring at. I don't know. I find that kind of pointless. We have so many device options out there today for 3DS and DS emulation. If that's your goal, then don't buy this device. Go grab a Thor. Okay? You don't need to get this for that. But it handles it all fine. So, I've never been a fan of doing DS or 3DS emulation on a single screen. I remember when my Miu Mini was finally able to run DS. I thought that was neat. You can put a digital stylus on there and scroll it around and tap. And that was cool. But I probably have played a total of 10 minutes on that. Because like N64 with a lot of these handhelds, well, a lot of the older ones, it's getting better. It doesn't feel right. And because it doesn't feel right, I won't play the game. It's like that with PSP. Okay? Older handhelds a few years back, watching people sell them, jack up frame skip to sell you a handheld, like, it runs PSP flawlessly. No, it doesn't. And if I'm playing the game, and I can feel frame skip, I can tell it's there, I don't want to do it. I want a good gaming experience. There is no need for me to lessen that to force a device to play something that it can't play. Stick to what it can play, and you'll have a better time. It'll be, yeah. So, and sorry, I only have one camera going. I am super short on time this morning, so I just set up one SDI camera, my mic, and we're going. Typically, I try to get more than that. Let's do the typical God of War 2 test. When you go through and set these up, everybody, a little tip, make sure you go in and map the controls before you turn off the touch control overlay. It's not a total loss if you mess that up. It just becomes a little more of a pain to get back into the menu during the game or anything like that and adjust the controls. You'll pretty much have to go into the emulator itself, set the controls, go back, and you're good. Oh, audio's cracking. Maybe that was just that screen. Let's speed it up. Yay. Okay. That's probably my favorite move early on, is holding L1 and hitting circle. I mean, there's also that big screen clearing one right there. Well, there you go. God of War 2, running like a champ. I don't think my graphics settings are anything spectacular. No, I'm literally running native graphics right now. I mean, we can up it. We're still running OpenGL, so might not like that. I mean, honestly, through a camera, though, it's always hard to tell when someone's running it really, really high end. You know, when they're upscaling stuff, you can tell a little bit, but in person, it's always going to be just so much different. And I can tell you, jumping up to 2x right now, the gameplay does feel. It looks cleaner. It's more smoothed out, so you can really tell. Let's jump out of that. Let's see, what else did I add? Yep. Now this game, Baten Kaitos. The sponsor of my channel is also a longtime friend of mine. He's best friend. He's family to me. He's my brother. Long time ago. I had a GameCube. We were hanging out, and he had me try out a game. He brought it over, and it was this one, Baten Kaitos. Pretty sure I got that name right. But so my first experience with this game was from him, and I believe he even let me borrow it for a while. And at that point, I played the hell out of it. I've never returned to play it further. I don't remember how far in it I got. I don't remember anything about it, honestly, except the combat system is kind of card-based. I'd stick to it, but there's a lot of talking at the start. Let's find something else. Go with the typical Wind Waker test. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Put my name in. Oh. Oh. Actually, I always forget about loading screens or loading time in stories. So while we sit here and wait, I want to talk about something. Now there's a handheld that I bought when it first came out. I was really excited about it, but skeptical when I seen the previews for it. Got the handheld, was super disappointed in it. I mention it all the time about how it's one of the biggest disappointments of last year for me. I quickly got rid of it. Shortly after, I probably had it a week. I hardly played on it. I reset it, got rid of it. I think maybe all I did was do a quick review, test a couple games, and then got done with it because I was angry. Then I borrowed one back, or my sponsor had one, so I borrowed his, and I played on it a little bit more, and I still didn't like it. So when they came out, they were about $200. I bought one. Like I said, mine. Tested it. Didn't care for it. Got rid of it. Only took about a $10 loss on it when everything was said and done. And I thought that would be it after I borrowed my sponsors and looked at it again. Well, the other day, you just heard it. The other day, I was sitting on Mercari, and someone posted one for about half price. I was tired, so I impulse bought another RG slide. And now looking at things, I more or less have an RG slide for, I think, $100 after, everything. So I can't really complain. But I'll tell you what I have been doing this time is I have really been forcing myself to game on this. I have been forcing myself to game on it. Because I want to like it. I want to like this. I do. I just can't. It's so annoying. It's not weighted right. But I have been playing with shaders and whatnot. The screen is really nice. And part of me feels like, in the long run, this might get set up to run, just grab a Bluetooth controller and build a mount for it and just leave it mounted somewhere as a tiny little screen. I don't know. But I'm trying it again. I have been looking for grips for it. I've come across a couple different sets of grips out there on Etsy where people in the reviews were like, I really hated this thing. I wanted to love it. I really hated it, and I didn't think I'd ever use it. I got this grip, changed everything about it. It's now one of my favorite handhelds, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll try one of those. I know my sponsors had a grip, but I don't think it was for that device. It just fit it. So it wasn't quite as comfortable as it could have been. So I'm looking into grips. I found one that has a lot of color options, and mine being a black version, almost anything works with it. So I don't know what I want to do there. I also have something else on the way that was another impulse pickup that was super cheap. I talked to the guy. He had it listed incorrectly on Mercari. He was showing it as a higher model of what the device is. A brand new inbox, but the high-end model. And I messaged him and said, hey, man, I'm not telling you how to do things, but that is not the high-end model. That is the lower-end model. So your posting is incorrect, and people aren't going to be happy if they buy that. And that's probably why they're not. Also, you are over double what it's worth, especially for it being a low end. So at first, all he did was send me an offer for $20 off of it. And I was like, no, you're not understanding. You have the wrong model. It's not what you think it is. And he was like, yes, it is. And I was like, no, it's not. Please pay attention and look it up. He messaged me back and said, man, I am so sorry. I came off pretty rude there, but I thought you were just trying to, get me to lower everything. He was like, but you're right. It's the lower end model. He's like, I didn't notice that. I apologize. I'm not trying to scam anybody over, or I'm not trying to scam anybody. I will fix it. And I was like, hey, that's cool, man. I appreciate it. 45 minutes goes by, and he was like, hey, are you interested in this? And I was like, more so right now than ever, because I have a need for something like this. I'm not telling you what it is because I'm going to review it. And he was like, okay, what would you give me? And I was like, in its new inbox? And he was like, yes, never been open, factory, sealed, everything. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about this price. And I told him the price. I was like, let me check around and see what they're going for right now for this model. And I did. And I was pretty close with my guess. My guess was like $10 too high. But I told him I would honor that. If he wants it, let me know. 5 minutes later, done. That thing's ordered. It's on the way. I'm kind of excited about it. It's something that I didn't know I needed an extra one of. But super into it. And when I review it, some of you are going to be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Others are going to be like, why? That's pointless. And it kind of is. But I'll have other uses for it that are not gaming related, so that's why I'm picking it up. Sorry, I like building a little bit of suspense in my channel here, guys. Okay, so this runs fine. This is Wind Waker, everybody. Absolutely love this game. I need to sit down and actually play through it again. It's been a long time since I've fully beat Wind Waker. But when you do things like I do and you have as many handhelds that you've set up and reviewed, you do notice that you test the more popular games for all these handhelds. But in your free time, it makes you not want to play them. So when I can't play through like God of War because it's always a test game. I can't play through Wind Waker because it's always a test game. It just, yeah. Which is why originally I started off saying I don't want to do the typical test games. That was kind of the reasoning behind it. Because it does kill your want to play these games. Because you're constantly starting them over. You're constantly seeing the beginning 10 minutes of it. It gets annoying, people. I need to force myself to get through the opening of that. Let's run some Genesis. I noticed with the 477v, when I was setting it up, I had issues in RetroArch with, what do you call it? I'm trying to think. Oh, wrong button. There it is. I had issues in RetroArch with cores. Some of the cores I would normally use on other devices, when I turned them on or tried to run, honestly, I think it was Genesis, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Advanced. When I tried to run those cores, the screen just stayed black or RetroArch stopped responding. Which was a problem for me because I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I realized it was the core. Oh, damn. So after this, I'll show you the cores I'm using for those systems. That way, if you're setting up a handheld and you don't know what's going on and you keep turning on a specific system and the screen goes black and forces you to either close it or the screen goes black and then says not responding or RetroArch isn't responding, I'll show you the cores that I'm using that'll make those function. I'll also show you how to remove the cores you have. It's a very simple process. El rato. I'm not good at this game, but I do enjoy it. Oh, didn't see you. Get out of here, you skeleton mosquito. Right in the nuts. And what do you think is going to happen when you're holding onto a pole above me and I, Ryu uppercut your ass? It's going right in your sack. Oh, that's right. Shit, did I not set up? I guess I didn't. What's great about a lot of these devices is if you just hold that button down, it'll take you home. So when you're in your front end or launching and it has the wrong cord and it's not acting right and the screen's black, you don't have to hold power and reset the handheld. Hold the home button right here. Just hold that down and you're good. Just hold that. It'll force it in the home and then you can swipe up, hit that, and close it. So real quick, let's jump into RetroArch and I'm going to show you guys. So if you have a core that's not working, go to RetroArch itself, hit your little gear icon, scroll down to core, manage cores. And then in here, these are all the cores running everything. If you need to remove one, click on one, scroll to the bottom, delete core. So right now, these are the ones I'm using. I haven't tested any others. I did a quick setup on this. These are what worked. I believe GBA gave me problems. Super Nintendo and Genesis did. And I swapped the cores out to something different real quick, and they worked. So, it's probably better. I don't know. That's what I'm using. I always think about setting RetroArch as the default home app, so the console launches right into this screen, which you still have access to everything through apps. I don't know. I just don't ever do it. I don't know why. I have everything. But this isn't mine. You know what? I'll probably do that with my slide. I'll set Daigisho as my home application so it launches into it. And then, yeah, I just have it all here anyway, so there's no need for this menu. I mean, it looks cool, but I can change the way retro this looks also, so it doesn't matter. Alright. Let's run a little squished PSP. Let's do Killzone. I don't know if I've actually set up PSP. Hello, everybody. Now, sounds like I've downloaded... Yep, see, there it is. Sounds like I downloaded PPSSPP Gold and never actually went through the setup. I got in a rush yesterday. I apologize. PSP will look fine. We're gonna do the setup. We're gonna jump it up, full screen, frame skip off, control mapping, D-pad up. So the only thing about PlayStation is I gotta remap every time. Remap your face buttons because it always has it backwards for us, me, whatever. So I'll do for PS1, PSP, and PS2. If I hit auto configure, I always go down to the face buttons and remap those ones. But I'll let it configure everything else automatically. Sometimes I've noticed I've had to go back in and adjust, like, L3, R3, or yeah, L3 and R3. Just because it was acting stupid. I did not want to sit here and mess with the control overlay. There we go. Sometimes I forget it's just a toggle, just on and off. Alright, let's jump into Killzone. I normally pick this one because in a lot of older handhelds that should run PSP, if you run Killzone, it runs horribly.
Templar, it's me, Luca. I'm heading up Mobile Command for this op. You'll take your instructions from me. I'll be passing you intel from our shadow marshals doing recon in the field. So listen up. Get to the shelled outhouse and rendezvous with Rico.
Fine, I'll go around. I haven't played this in, I don't even know how long. Can I still? Yeah. I don't remember how to do everything. Money. Yeah, of course, I'm a badass soldier, but what do I do about a downed log? No! There's an obstruction. It's not very big, but I can't crawl under it or over it. Mission failed. Alright, so there you go. There's PSP running perfectly fine. Like I said, I just didn't finish the setup for Daigisho, but it should launch through here decently now. Or not. Yep, I'll have to go into the settings on Daigisho and fix that. I love Daigisho, but sometimes, you know, you can always go in and change out everything in here, what it's using. Oh, yep, see, there it is, using RetroArch. No, no, don't. Stop. Ah! There. There. That's all it was. It was trying to use a core that I didn't even have downloaded. So you just go into your settings, change what it's using. Like I said, I changed it to PPSSPP Gold, and here we go. Now we're back in action. That's how simple it really is with these devices. I mean, it's just that easy. I don't know if I ever did. I map controls. Yep. I mean, just honestly, these 4x3 screens that Anbernic has anymore, this and that one for the 476H, that LTPS screen or whatever, they do make me want to play all these old games. Like, I want to play Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that so bad on them. That's why I am desperately trying to like the RG slide. Because I do want a 476H. It's up there. And I don't want it to be like the 406H where I eyeball it 10,000 times and never get one, but I constantly think about how good that would be and how that's probably the handheld that'll work out the best for me and the things I like. So, yeah, I don't want to do that again. So I do want a 476H, but if I can get used to and love the RG slide, then I'm getting the main feature out of the 476H, the screen. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, that's right. I need to set up hotkeys. Let's do SNES. Yeah, see, I didn't configure anything but the core. I'll have to go in and mess with Azahar and the others. I mean, you see me launch them, but when I say mess with them, I mean I'm going to have to change, you know, screens around. You know what? I might leave that for the guy who actually owns this. Let him set the screens how he wants. Love me some Super Nintendo and Demolition Man. I don't know why I ever pick to play that one. It is ridiculous. What I generally like for Super Nintendo is either Chrono or Lufia 2 right here, or yep, or A Link to the Past. Now the reason I like to pick these is because of the colors on screen really early. I want red, green, blue. I want that on the screen as early as possible. That way I can see the color saturation, how it looks to me, what's going on with shaders. I mean, look at it. Now to you guys, this red is more brownish. To me, that is really red. That is nice. That is not an advertisement for Go Game Geek. I was just pressing buttons. I have a slight history with Go Game Geek. I have picked up a lot of things from them, but after our last interaction, I haven't purchased a single thing from them. Not that they give a shit. They have enough people going through them, but their support and the way they responded to things and the way they didn't respond to things ended my patronage. And it's bad. It's sad because I used to recommend, like my early videos, I was always recommending Go Game Geek. I used code Joey for everything, which always made my purchase more or less what I would get or how much I would pay off of official websites like Anbernic. It would lower the cost down to that. But I would get free shipping instead of Anbernic's. Oh, it's in the U.S., but it still costs you $20 to ship it 2 states over. Which is why I never order from their actual site, because their in-state shipping is stupid. Or in-country shipping is stupid. But yeah, I used to use Go Game Geek all the time. Now, the only ones I've never ordered from are Lit NXT and Mech DIY. I check their sites out all the time. I like them. I just don't know why I don't order from them. So, I don't know. I guess I know better. Like, I want to order from them, and I think they're okay companies. I can't speak customer service wise, because like I said, I've never ordered from them. But it's not that I won't. I would happily order from one of those sites. But I shop around. Like, if I want a Trim UI Smart Pro S, which is I keep looking at and thinking about, like, do I really want to pick one of these up? Anyway, I have all tabs open. I have Powkitty or Trim UI store open. I have Go Game Geek, Mech DIY, Lit NXT, official sites, non-official sites, AliExpress, searching Mercari, and I don't do eBay. I have a lot of vulgar things to say about eBay. I don't use eBay. They don't. Oh my god, I hate eBay. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway. So yeah. But I'll search Mercari, AliExpress, and all that. AliExpress I get a little iffy on. I always go through and check what seller it's coming from. Does the reviews look real? I do the same with Mercari. I've never been screwed over on Mercari in the years I've been using it, so I really love that. I use Mercari for a lot. Honestly, it's one of the best sites out there for getting a cheap emulation handheld. It's also one of the best sites out there for getting a handheld that is ridiculously priced. And I mean high. There was somebody posting a 34XX, I believe, or a 24. I think right now there's a 24XX that they're trying to sell for over 100. And then at one point somebody had a 34XX for like $200. And I just couldn't believe it. So there's always going to be those people that are going to post shit like that because they're trying to get somebody that doesn't know any better, you know, to come across that page and go, oh my god, that's a really cool device. Problem is, you're posting the name and model, so all they got to do is Google it and realize you're full of shit. But as long as you're not stupid and pay attention on Mercari, you're going to get cheap handhelds. You're going to get good deals. It's going to be great. That's why I use it. I love the ones where you can tell the SD card, the stock SD card's just corrupted when they're like, the light comes on, the screen powers on, but nothing happens. So selling it for parts or repair, $20 for a 406H or a RG477v, which those are Android based. That doesn't happen. It'll be more of like XX devices, and they'll sell them for $15-20, and then you buy them, custom firmware done. You have a cheap handheld working. All right, guys, you see it. It works. Look, my take on the 477v. It is a lot bigger than you think it is. When you get it, you're going to realize it's super wide, super big. But it really makes it kind of comfortable. All the controls are great. The front glass panel is neat, but it has its ups and downs. It's smudgy as shit. It's slick as shit, but it's really cool. I like the all black model if I was buying one, because then it always looks like the screen is just appearing out of nowhere, which I think is awesome. Setting it up, get rid of all the bullshit they throw on it right when you first get it. Set it up yourself. If you like the way I do it the way I do it. The ones I have installed are because I'm not using those cores in RetroArch. I like setting up the standalone. Yes, I can just go through RetroArch and get a PSP or a PS1 core, but I like using DuckStation. I've always used it. I will forever use it. So these are the ones I download myself. It does come with like Azahar and Dolphin and all that, but I still uninstall them and install them myself. That way I know where it came from. I can set it up. But ultimately, this thing is a really nice handheld. If you're really into verticals and you're not wanting to go analog, you're not wanting to give Ioneo any money, here you are. You know, especially if you need one with sticks. This is a good buy. I mean, I like it. I would be more interested in like a 476V, I think. I don't need all that power. I want the screen, like, from these. Lately their screens have been amazing for classic PS1, Super Nintendo games, PS2 games. That's all I want. But I still feel like the 476H is going to be one of the best handhelds if I ever get one and use it. I've only heard great things about it. The only thing I worry about is I kind of want the 476H, but with the grips of a 406H. It looks really comfy. That cube style grip was the best. Anbernic, don't get rid of that. All right, everybody. That's going to end it for today. I got more things coming up. We're going to discuss my third attempt with the RG slide later on this week. Somebody requested that I actually go ahead and just do more on the Ioneo Pocket Air Mini, since I did a video and then kind of jumped on the boycott, which actually I started mine before everybody else. What? But I'm a small channel, so I'll never get credit. Noticed a lot of that's going on. Like, Tech Tweeb just did a video on the IINE, the NE controllers. That was awesome, bro. I did one like a year ago. But it's still cool. I love seeing that. I love seeing that. I'm a small channel, so what I do first doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm going to do a comparison between the Ioneo Pocket Air Mini and I have a Ioneo Pocket Classic to go side by side with. We're pitting a $70, $80 handheld versus a $200 handheld to see which one you should buy. Choice should be obvious, but cool shit ain't cheap, and cheap shit ain't cool. So the Pocket Classic is one I absolutely love. Or Pocket Micro, sorry. I keep saying Classic. The Pocket Micro. The Classic has no sticks, right? Yeah, the Micro does. I have a Micro to test it with, so whatever. I got the one with sticks. You know what I'm saying. All right, everybody. I'm going to get my ass to work. All of you, have a good Tuesday. I'm going to try and eke out 2 more videos this week if I can. If I can't, it is what it is. Remember, my Discord is open and live. We hang out on there. I spend a lot of time on there. I did miss yesterday. I was super busy, but I'm getting ready to log into it after this video. I am there for help, discussion. We can sit, we can chat, we can do whatever. I'll see you guys over there. I will post a link to that below this video.